Hello, it's Martine here. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the Citation Tool in Google Docs. Before we go into the tutorial, I think it's important to note that referencing is essential when you're working at level 3 and above. And you can see on this document, I've put a quote. Referencing is when you acknowledge other people's work and allow the reader to locate the sources you have used. This is a direct quote from the Open University website. You can see it's a direct quote because I've put speech marks around it, so I've quoted it word for word. And when you do that, when you take somebody else's work from a website or a book and you quote it directly and you put the speech marks around it, you need to explain where it's come from. So this has come from the Open University. It's actually come from their website, and their website was updated 2021. This is the citation. And what this does, it's a signpost to the bibliography, which is at the end of your document, and it lists your sources in a bit more detail. So if someone was reading your work, they could find where exactly you got that quote from. And you can see the information there. Now, you don't always do a word-for-word quote. You might put something in your own words, but it's very much been inspired by a source. So you are indirectly quoting. And even then, you still have to tell your reader where you got the information from. So here's an example. It's very much the same as what I've done up here, but it's indirect. So the Open University 2021 states that you should acknowledge when you have used other people's work and ensure readers can locate those sources. So it's pretty much what's been said up here, but it's more in my own words. But still, I'm telling the reader this is where the information came from. Now, the great thing about Google Docs is it has a citation tool that allows you to do this pretty much automatically. I'm going to show you how to use it now. Let's imagine that you were writing about teaching. In particular, you wanted to write about assessment, and you found a website that you believed was a reliable source. Anne Gravels writes a lot of teaching and assessment textbooks, so I would consider this to be a good source. You've had a read through the website and you found a section on assessment, and you want to use this quote here. Open questions begin with who, what, when, where, why, and how. So what I would do is I would copy it, and to copy it I'm using Command C or Control C. Command C if you're on a Mac, Control C if you're on a PC. And then I'm going to go back to my document and I'm going to press Command V or Control V in order to paste it in to my document. Incidentally, I've noticed the font is different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so it's the same font as my document. I'm going to highlight a bit of the correct font, click Format Painter and just highlight it like that, and that changes it to the correct font. It's a direct quote, so I'm going to put speech marks around it, like so. And now I need to create the citation and add the source to the bibliography. I need to go to Tools, Citations, and you can see my Open University information is already in there, and I need to add a new citation source. Before I do that though, I just want to point out there are 3 different styles of referencing you can select. Normally we would use something called Harvard referencing, but unfortunately this isn't an option in Google Docs. However, APA is very similar, so always use APA. Unfortunately, when you go in for the first time, it defaults to MLA, so you have to consciously make that change. I'm going to click Add Citation Source, and here is where you select the type of source. If it were a book, you would select there, but this is a website, so this is what we're going to select. I'm now going to fill in the information I can. So if we scroll down, we know that the author is Anne Gravels. And the title of the page is Micro-Teaching. The website title is Anne Gravels, and the URL I can just grab from up here. Again, I'm copying that, pasting it. Now, it might be you struggle to fill in some of this information. It's sometimes not clear on websites in particular when the website was published, I tend to scroll right down to the bottom and have a look to see if I can see anything here. The copyright goes up to 2021, so I'm going to select 2021. I don't have an exact date. So I go back here. I'm not going to put the date. If you did have the exact date, you would put it like that, just as a number. And you would put the month like that, but we don't have that information. So I'm just going to put 2021. I do know the date of access though. I'm recording this on the 15th of April 2021, and I'm not going to bother with a short title, but you can do if you want. And then I add citation source. Next, I put my cursor where I want the citation to be, and I click Cite. There we go. And then to insert the bibliography, again, you put the cursor where you want it to be, and you insert bibliography. Now you'll notice it's actually inserted a second bibliography. So what I would recommend you do is only create the bibliography once you've done the whole document. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions about referencing and citations, don't hesitate to get in touch. Best of luck with your assignment.